Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. So this video is about whether you should buy a car with a CVT transmission or not. These days CVT transmissions are pretty much ubiquitous, which pretty much means that a lot of cars, or I don't know if most cars actually have CVT transmissions. So if you guys don't want to buy CVT transmission cars with CVT transmissions, you might be looking at cars that are maybe like 10 years old, maybe like closer to like 18 years old, 20 years old, because most cars are coming out with CVT transmissions. Most car manufacturers, the car lines have CVT transmissions. So basically, this is my own personal opinion about CVT transmissions as far as my personal experience with my 2008 Nissan Altima. If you guys take care of your car right as far as the CVT transmission is concerned, if you guys change the CVT transmission fluid I'd say like every 40,000 miles, every 30,000 miles. Some people do it every 60,000 miles. But the manual says every 40 to 60,000 miles on average. It's a good transmission. Now, the problems that I've had with CVT transmissions were issues that came up that I didn't know how to handle as far as the whine is concerned and as far as safe mode is concerned. If you guys don't know that that's a warning from your transmission that the fluid is overheating, or it's thinned out, or it's bubbling up because it has reached a certain temperature, and you guys keep on driving it like that, obviously at some point your transmission will be damaged, and you're gonna have to pay a lot of money for either a brand new transmission or a brand new car. But as far as the positive things that I could say about CVT transmission, and there are a lot of positive things that I will say about CVT transmissions. One of which is that it's incredibly reliable. Now, you're probably asking yourself, you've probably heard so many stories about CVT transmission, the whine, all that stuff, the transmission blowing up on the car and leaving people stranded and stuff like that. But like I said, if you take care of it right, it's extremely reliable. One of the reasons why it's extremely reliable is because of the safe mode, which you might find surprising, because if you didn't know what the safe mode is, and your car into limp mode or fail-safe mode, and your car slows down to, I don't know, a certain speed like 60 miles per hour, and your foot is all the way on the pedal on the floor, and it won't go any faster, you're thinking your transmission is shot because it's not switching to gears. But the reality is, safe mode is like, if you have a laptop and the computer overheats, what it does is it shuts off the laptop before there's any kind of damage to the chip or whatever. If that's a good analogy. But it kind of puts your transmission into a safe place where it won't actually break down the transmission. But if it gets into safe mode, just limp mode, just park your car for about 10 minutes and it should be off limp mode, and then you should be good again. So it's been reliable in that case, in that my car has gone through, I have, on this second transmission in my car, I have about 100,000 miles on my car right now, and it's gone through limp mode like 15 times, and in a couple of cases successively it's gone into safe mode. But it's like I said, it's just a warning from your car. It's like as if it's a service engine soon light. It's kind of like a service transmission soon warning, meaning that you need to change your transmission fluid. And once I did change my transmission fluid, the car worked normal without any issues. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I mean, your car going to safe mode and limp mode is one of those. It's a nuisance. Although it's a nuisance, it's more like a backup just to make sure that your transmission doesn't get damaged. and my transmission that I have now is my second transmission. I change my CVT fluid regularly, particularly when I hear the CVT whine noise. It gets changed up, and once it gets changed up, it drives normally again. No more limp mode, no more CVT whine. And I haven't had any issues as far as, after doing that. I mean, obviously it comes back because your engine, your transmission fluid needs to be changed, etc., etc. But like I said, as long as you change your transmission fluid, you should be okay, and it should drive without a problem. So I have 100,000 miles on my second CVT transmission, and I'll say that is a success. That was worth it, because I paid like $1,200 for these mechanics to change up my CVT transmission, and they did a good job. And B, the transmission held up for over 100,000 miles. I'm still driving it with the changed up CVT transmissions. I can't really say anything bad about that as far as that's concerned. As far as performance wise, I mean, would it be nice if when I came to a complete stop, it didn't feel like my transmission is resetting itself? That little pause, like 1 or 2 second pause, if you come to a complete stop and then you put your foot on the accelerator again, it takes 1 or 2 seconds for it to engage. But once it engages, it feels normal afterwards. I know there's a lot of people complain about that a slow shifting, like maybe like a split-second shift that's slower than normal transmission would. But I haven't had any issues with that. It's not obvious to me where it becomes an issue to me. So I never had an issue with that. So as far as CVT transmissions are concerned, I mean, they're cheaper. I mean, cars are cheaper because the transmissions are easier to produce. I've seen the prices for I've seen the prices for cars in general, as far as the cars that's been coming out for the last 10 years or whatever. I've looked at the prices of 2008 Altimas and Hondas and Toyotas and Fords and Chevys and whatever. The prices of cars have been affordable, and they're not expensive these days, and they're a lot more reliable than they were before. And I know a lot of people have attributed CVT transmissions to cars not being reliable, but if you know how to take care of them, it's a really, really reliable transmission. I don't have anything negative to say about it. Then again, I'm not the kind of person who goes out and buy a brand new car from the lot. I mean, I would rather buy a used car, and if things need fixing, I'll fix it myself. I've been lucky as far as that's concerned. But as far as CVT transmissions, I mean, if you guys think about it, those transmissions have been out in cars since 2000 or whatever. I think 2000 to the 2000s, and this is 2018, so it's 18 years later, and they've had 18 years to perfect it. I haven't driven a new car with a CVT transmission, a 2018, 2017 car. Maybe they, did something to the, maybe they included a transmission cooler that I'm pretty sure doesn't exist in my 2008 Altima. I'm pretty sure I do not have a CVT transmission fluid cooler in my car. But maybe they have that. But altogether, I would say CVT transmissions, they're not as bad as people make it out to be, particularly when how to maintain it. And maintaining it pretty much is a simple thing. Just change the fluid every 40,000 to 60,000 miles, and you should have a good car. You shouldn't have any issues with it. But if you guys are looking for a non-CVT transmission, I mean, think about it. What are your choices? There's not a lot of choices out there as far as non-CVT transmission cars are concerned, because that's all they're making these days. And the complaints that you're hearing from some people on CVT transmissions, I personally had the same issues and complaints. But after knowing how to take care of it, I don't have any of those complaints anymore because it's been pretty reliable for me. I mean, right now my car is sitting at 300,000 miles. I always tell people that if I knew anything about CVT transmissions, and had I taken care of the original transmission that came with this car at 150,000 miles, I probably would be driving that transmission right now, driving the car with that transmission right now with 300,000 miles on my car. So I got 300,000 miles on my 2008 Altima, and I'm at this point, you know, I used to complain a lot about CVT transmissions because I didn't know anything about it, but at this point, I know enough about it where I have no complaints about it. You know, once you know how to take care of something, or you know, once you know what certain things mean as far as issues and noises and stuff like that, and you take care of it, this transmission should last you quite a bit, quite a long time. All right, so I'm gonna give I guess I'm gonna give it a CVT transmission a thumbs up, knowing what I know about them and how to take care of them. And if this video has helped you guys in any way to make a decision on buying a car with a CVT transmission, yeah, so please give me a thumbs up, and I welcome all your comments. If you guys have any comments about it or questions or whatever, definitely give me your comments, post them, and please give me a thumbs up, guys. All right, take care.